Hi friends, this is Monish back with a new video from English with Technical Monish. Hope you're all are doing great. And now let us get into today's class. So in today's class, we are going to discuss the daily Hindu editorial of the August 5th, 2025. Without any further delay in time, let us get into the class. So the first part we have vocabulary, and the first word we have is squeeze. The first word is vocabulary. So the first part of vocabulary we have squeeze. So all of you must have used the word squeeze somewhere or the other. So squeeze means is a noun or else an adverb. It can be used as a noun or an verb. So squeeze in meaning in Telugu pindi veyu, pindi veyu. So squeezing means a tight or difficult situation, often due to limited space or resources. A tight or difficult situation, often due to limited space or resources, is called as squeezing. So we do make lemonade by squeezing lemon. So squeezing in the sense, hold it tightly or restricting it. So synonyms we have constriction, throttling, constriction and throttling. And antonyms opposite we have expansion and relaxation. Expansion and relaxation are the opposite of squeezing. So now let us see the example of squeeze. The budgetary squeeze on urban infrastructure reveals the misplaced priorities in the city governance. So the budgetary squeeze. So budgetary pressure on urban infrastructure reveals the misplaced priorities in the city governance. And next word we have infuriated. Next word is infuriated. It can be used as a verb or an adjective. Can be used as a verb or adjective. And infuriated means కోపం వచ్చింది. కోపం వచ్చింది. So if someone gets extremely angry, then we can say infuriated or rage. Rage also means being very angry. Synonyms are incensed and exasperated. Exasperated. Incensed and exasperated. Antonyms we have pacified and mollified. Pacified and mollified are the antonyms of infuriated. Pacified means calm. Mollified means also staying calm. Example we have residents were infuriated by the municipal apathy after repeated flooding of arterial road. So residents who are living there were very angry by the municipal apathy after repeated flooding of arterial roads. And the next word we have is exorbitant. The next word is exorbitant, which is an adjective. It is an adjective which states viparitamaina, viparitamaina in a large amount or quantity. Unreasonably high. Unreasonably high in the sense very large, massive. So synonyms are extortionate and prohibitive. Extortionate and prohibitive are the synonyms for exorbitant. Antonyms nominal, reasonable. Nominal and reasonable means nominal in the sense minimal. Reasonable also means worth it. And the example we have the exorbitant cost of the urban housing contrasts sharply with the dismissal quality of basic amenities. So the exorbitant cost in the sense the high cost of the urban housing contrasts sharply with the dismal quality of basic amenities. And the next word we have is filth. The word is filth and it can be used as a noun. And filth means muriki. Filth means muriki. Disgusting dirt or waste. Disgusting dirt or waste can be termed as filth. Synonyms are squalor, grime. Squalor and grime are the synonyms of filth. which means disgusting dust. Antonyms we have purity and cleanliness. Purity and cleanliness are the antonyms of filth, means clean. Example: the lanes of many Indian cities remain drowned in filth despite annual Swachh campaigns. So the streets of many Indian cities remain drowned in filth. Drowned in filth in a sense, still filled with waste, like slums. Best example is slums. Despite annual Swachh Bharat campaigns, even though they are organizing many Swachh Bharat campaigns, the cities remain still in slums. And the next word we have is infiltrate. The word is infiltrate and it is a verb. Infiltrate is a verb which means chorobado. Infiltrate means chorobado. So, to secretly enter or gain access to a place or group. To secretly enter or gain access to a place or group is called as infiltrating. So, generally, hacking is also a sense of infiltrate. So, hacking in the sense infiltrating into some other species, gaining access to other species is called as hacking. So, it is also a kind of infiltration. Synonyms are encroach, permeate. Encroach and permeate are the synonyms, which means secretly entering without their permission is encroach. Antonyms we have evacuate, withdraw. Evacuate and withdraw. An example: hackers used Gen AI tools to infiltrate systems through cleverly disguised code snippets. So, hackers used Gen AI. They have used AI tools to infiltrate, to secretly enter systems through cleverly disguised. Disguised in the sense, Drussel like. So, they look like good snippet code, they look like good code snippets, but they are a form of virus. So, hackers use the AI tools to infiltrate system through cleverly disguised code snippets. And the next word we have is vulnerabilities. The word is vulnerabilities and it is a noun. Vulnerabilities mean durbalatvamu. Durbalatvamu. So, weakness that can be exploited. Weaknesses that can be exploited is called as vulnerabilities. Synonyms are susceptibilities, breaches. Susceptibilities and breaches are also some kind of weakness. So, breach. We generally hear this word data breach. Data breach in a sense, the data getting lost to the hackers is called as data breaching. Hackers getting control over our data is data breach. And coming to the antonyms, we have fortifications, safeguard. Fortifications and safeguard are the antonyms of vulnerabilities, means protecting. And example we have Gen AI introduced subtle vulnerabilities that went undetected by reviewers. So Gen AI introduced subtle vulnerabilities. So have introduced subtle vulnerabilities that went undetected. That those weaknesses did not got detected by the reviewers. And moving on to the next word, we have seemingly. The next word is seemingly, which is an adverb. Seemingly is an adverb and it means akarananga. Akarananga. Appearing to be true, though not necessarily so. So, seemingly in the sense, appearing to be true. It may appear to be true, but it is not necessarily to be so. So, synonyms of it are ostensibly and allegedly. Ostensibly and allegedly. Coming to the antonyms, we have genuinely, authentically. Genuinely and authentically are opposite of seemingly. Seemingly means it may be true, but coming to the antonyms, genuinely, authentically means it must be true. Example we have The pull request was seemingly harmless until its execution triggered data leaks. So the pull request. So this is generally related to coding, and the pull requests were seemingly harmless. They seemed to be harmless. They were like good code until its execution. The main virus started triggering with data leaks. So the code which looked like pulling request was seemingly good at first, but when it started its execution, it triggered the data leaking. And the next word we have is repository. The next word is repository, and it is a noun. Repository means bhandagaram. Repository means bhandagaram. A storage location for software code or data. A storage location for software code or data is repository. We generally hear this in Git and GitHub. This terminology is related to coding. So in Git and GitHub, we do have repositories. So repositories are nothing but folders. Repositories in the sense just a place where the data is kept is called as repository. And synonyms of repository are archive and vault. Archive and vault are synonyms of repository. It means they are also some kind of folders which store the data. And moving on to the antonyms, we have dispersal, wipe. Dispersal and wipe. So the main use of these folders are to store data. Storing data is their primary use. And coming to the opposite of storing data, we have dispersal or wipe. Wipe in the sense clear, clear or clean. So antonyms will be wiping or dispersal. Example: the open repository hosted several AI generated files that were never validated. So the open repository. So open repository and public private repository. We have two kinds of repositories while creating a repository. Open repository in a sense it is open for everyone. Anyone in the world can access those repositories and can do any changes required. So the open repository hosted, which was published, several Gen AI generated files. So there were Gen AI generated files that were never validated. So the Gen AI files which were stored in the open repository have never got reviewed or validated. Now next word we have is dimension. The next word we have is dimension, and dimension is a noun. Dimension is a noun and it means vibhagamu or rangam. Vibhagam or rangam. An aspect or feature of a situation. An aspect or a feature of situation is called as dimension. So generally we do here three-dimensional, four-dimensional or two-dimensional. So an aspect or feature of a situation is called as dimension. If we take two dimension, we have length, breadth. If you take 3D, length, breadth, height. So there are three aspects, two aspects. Two dimensional have two aspects, three dimensional have three aspects. Similarly, dimension means an aspect or feature. Synonyms are facet and vector. Facet and vector are the synonyms of dimension. Coming to the antonyms, simplicity and uniformity. Simplicity and uniformity are the antonyms of dimension. Example: the incident added a new dimension to the discussion on AI driven automation risk. So, there was an incident which was added to the new dimension. So, incident added a new dimension, new perspective to the discussion on AI driven automation risk. And moving on to the next word we have is deliberately. The next word on the screen we have is deliberately, which is an adverb. Deliberately means it is an adverb which means uddeshapurvakanga, uddeshapurvakanga, wantedly, with intent and purpose, with intent and purpose, intentionally. So synonyms are calculatedly, premediately, intentionally. These are the synonyms of deliberately, which means doing something on purpose. Antonyms are accidentally, inadvertently. Accidentally and inadvertently are the antonyms of deliberately, which means all of a sudden, without any intention. Example, some contributors deliberately design pull requests to mimic authentic code patterns. So, some contributors. This contributors also is related to coding terms, and contributors in the sense the person who writes the code, who contributes something in the code, who codes or contributes in repository are contributors. So some coders or contributors deliberately, wantedly design pull request. So pull request and push request. We have pull request in the sense pulling something. So code gets pulled or pushed. So if you make any changes, these are the changes and these get pushed. And if you want to get some of the data from the host, you will be pulling it. This is pull, this is push. So some contributors deliberately designed pull request. So pulling request in the sense grabbing the data to mimic in the sense to copy, authentic code patterns. So they were copying the authentic code patterns to make this designed pull requests. And next, coming to the next part, one word substitutions. We have successfully completed this vocabulary, and now let us move on to the one word substitutions. The first one word substitute on the screen we have is procrastinate. The first word is procrastinate. Procrastinate means to delay or postponing something, often unnecessarily. To delay or postpone doing something, often unnecessarily, is called as procrastinate. Procrastinate is nothing but lazy. You all must have listened the word lazy. So procrastinate is nothing but lazy in disguise. So lazy's new word is called as procrastinate. So I request all of you to stay watching till the end because we'll be covering some of the previously asked questions at the end related to today's session. And the next word we have vestige. The next word is vestige. So vestige means a small remaining part of something that once existed. A small remaining part of something that once existed, or a trace. So generally we do have traces of bones of dinosaurs. So there was a trace of bones of dinosaurs. It means it is a vestige. Vestige is nothing but a trace, a remaining part of something that once existed. And now let us move on to the next word. We have slob. The word slob. Slob means a person who is messy, lazy, or careless. A person who is messy, lazy, or careless is called a slob. And moving on to the final word, we have quinquennial. The next word we have is quin quinquennial. Quinquennial. It means occurring every 5 years or lasting for 5 years. Occurring for 5 years or lasting for 5 years is called as quinquennial. So generally all the elections happening in India, elections happening in India occurs every 5 years. So it means elections in India is quinquennial. Now let us move on to the one idioms and phrases. So the first idiom on the screen we have add fuel to the fire. The first idiom we have add fuel to the fire. Add fuel to the fire mean to make a bad situation even worse. To make a bad situation even worse. So already the present situation is worse, and adding fuel to the fire means making it even more worse. Then catch a tartar. Catch a tartar. So the idiom catch a tartar means to get into trouble by confronting someone who is unexpectedly strong and aggressive. So to get into a trouble by confronting someone who is unexpectedly strong or aggressive, we call it a catching a tartar. And the next idiom, every inch a gentleman. Every inch a gentleman. It means completely or thoroughly behaving like a gentleman in manner and appearance. So if a man who is looking gentle, who is looking like gentleman through his manner or well as his appearance, we can say every inch a gentleman. So completely or thoroughly behaving like a gentleman in both manner and appearance. Next idiom we have all moonshine. The next idiom we have is all moonshine. All moonshine means nonsense, something untrue or unrealistic. So if some of your friends just say nonsense without any further improvement in the conversation, then we can say he always says all moonshine. So he always says nonsense. And the final idiom we have take to heart. Take to heart. If some of our friends or relatives crack a joke on us and if we get hurt, they do say, don't take it to heart. So, don't take it to heart means to be deeply affected or upset by something, to take something seriously. If someone of your friends makes a sarcastic joke, they say, don't take it to heart. It means don't take it seriously. Taking to heart means taking something seriously, or don't take it to heart means don't not taking something seriously. Now let us see some of the previously asked questions related to today's idioms and phrases, vocabulary and one word substitutions. So in SSC CGL 2021 Tier 2. So remember this was asked in Tier 2. The public dash when the government increased fuel prices overnight. The public was dashed when the government increased the fuel price overnight. Was pacified, delighted, infuriated, or amused. So, as discussed today, infuriated. The word infuriated means rage or very angry. So, the public was very angry when the government increased the fuel prices overnight. So, the public was infuriated. And the next question was asked in IBPS PO Mains 2020. The shopkeeper charged an dash price for the item. The shopkeeper charged an dash price for the item. So, exorbitant, nominal, reasonable, subsidized. So, if you observe, all these three are synonyms. So, all these three mean the same. So, if you use nominal price, it means the same of reasonable price or subsidized price. But we must choose the option which is different from all the rest three. So, exorbitant. So, we have discussed exorbitant in today's vocabulary, and exorbitant means heavy or unreasonable. High price. So, the shopkeeper charged an high price for the item. Exorbitant. So just check out all the options. If there are many synonyms related to exorbitant, then you must choose one of these. Since there are synonyms for nominal, we need to choose the antonym of nominal. And the next question was asked in SSC CHSL 2022. One word substitution for to delay something unnecessarily. To delay something unnecessarily. Vacillate, postpone, procrastinate, hesitate. So, as discussed, to delay something unnecessarily is called as procrastination. Procrastination. Next, IBPS clerk prelims in 2022. He took the criticism to heart. What does this mean? So, he took the criticism to heart. This is an idiom. As discussed, idiom taking to heart. It means ignored it or took it lightly, was deeply affected, or was happy about it. So, take it to heart means take it seriously. Take it to heart means seriously. Taking something seriously is called as taking to heart. So, was deeply affected. He took the criticism to heart means he was deeply affected by the criticism. So, that's it for today's class. Hope you did enjoy the session. So if you want the PDF of this class and want to attempt quizzes regularly, don't forget to join the channel English with Technical Monish both on Telegram as well as on YouTube. So you can check out this QR code. You can scan this QR code and directly join into our Telegram group. And I promise you, just spend 20 to 25 minutes regularly from 7 a.m. to 7:25 a.m. And I'm promising you, by just 6 months, in a duration of 6 months, I'll make you a master in English vocabulary. So I hope you trust me and join the channel in both Telegram as well as on YouTube. Thank you for watching video. See you guys in tomorrow's 7 a.m. live session. Till then, keep studying and practicing. Till then, goodbye.